Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is a hashtag, and it's the end of the year tarot tag, and it's a VR also to at channel days. I've never done one of these end year tags because my station is new, but I'm really thrilled to do it. I have watched a few videos, I got my cheat sheets here, and let's jump in. So, number one prompt is the deck you used most. For me, people, that is, I'll zoom out a little bit here, kind of close. That is the Somnia Tarot. Comes in a great box. I purchased it online from the artist himself. Get this in focus. There we go. And I find it great mood setting deck. Great for diving into your subconscious. So if I set that there, this is what the backs look like. Really good cardstock. It is wonderful image-wise. Some people, I think, didn't like the fact that they couldn't see the faces. But for me, that just heightened my ability to get lost in the cards and wander through whatever thoughts were coming up. Now, let's take a little bit closer look because this is what I'm talking about, the darkness against the light, the fact that you can't see her face, and the play on the images. Like for me, this really drew me into the Seven Wands. And that feeling of, are you gathering support here, or are these people against you? So the numbers do bring you back to the facts, but you can then jump in and really get those emotions. This one in particular with the Ten of Wands, I liked the fact that that chandelier was above her head, because then there's the hope. The Ten of Wands can be a struggle, but someone might come along and light those candles, but it might take some time for that to happen, because your mind can wander. Okay, it'll have to be nighttime before you can really see the light from the candles. And does she pick one up and wander with that candle and find a new approach to a difficult situation? It's just fabulous. This one is always interesting when it comes up. It's just a really odd photograph, but here, yeah, hope. Even though things look a little bit miserable, reflect on it and try to move forward. So, really nice deck, Somnia. All right, now we go into a deck I purchased, thought I would use a lot, but didn't. So it's actually didn't use or not at all. And this one really surprised me because when I saw it on the internet, I had to have it. And I really do like the images, but I think this might be a deck that needs to be paired. So you can see the backs there and how wonderful they look on a dark cloth. And I think I would probably pair it with my Tarot of the Vampires. And that's the one by Charles Harrington and Craig Marr. So if I bring them up a little closer for you to see, there's lots of detail. They're crisp, they're clean. Some mystery to some of the faces. But for me, I think, and after I pair it maybe with a couple other decks, I'll try the vampire one first because it is of the same theme, then maybe I can make that connection. But if you've used it and enjoyed it, did you pair it with another deck or did you use it on its own? So that was that one. Now, my newest, it says your most recent deck acquisition, It's not even out of the box, and I'm showing two decks here that are not out of the box because I want to do an unboxing with them and really spend some time. So this is my Intuition Oracle by Monty Farber and Amy Zerner. And you know, they're a husband and wife team. It looks like a good, sturdy box. And it seems like Sterling Ethos is putting a lot of decks for sale in our area in Winners. So I'll be on the hunt there each time I'm in trying to find one. But I do have her other one. And you know, she does collages with fabric and stitching. And I have one of her earlier decks and I'm waiting. I have it in the mail. The 25th edition one came on sale at Amazon. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how her magic carries forward from those to this. Now, the other one was an interesting category too, not your visual style of deck. Well, again, I was in Winners, have not unboxed this one yet. It's not my thing, but I think it might be wonderful for one of those days that you need to lighten up a little bit, have some fun, and you know, the images, they're sweet. So maybe for when I'm reading out in public for younger people, this might be great, but I'm not saying that it has to be just for younger people. As I said, you know, those days when you could really have some fun, it allowed me in the store, it wasn't sealed, to at least see this much of it. Crisp, clean drawings. They're not teensy weensy, so I can see some symbolism. Good size, and it does come with a guidebook. So that, not my usual style, but willing to play. All right, now we're getting more into my style again because this next one is my favorite deck pairing. And I did a video on this, but I'll show it again. In that, here's the book. And this is my Vampire one, as I said, by Craig Marr and Charles Harrington. Wonderful book. Full color images. Sorry about the glare there. There we go. And it pairs very nicely with, actually I should show you the cards first. There's the back of the vampire. So you got the red rose and the white lily. And we're going to bring the other ones down so we can see the cards together. Side by side. I think I'm going to prop them against that. But the one I'm pairing it with is Wild Reflections. So far, I think I am going to try pairing it with, as I say, Tarot de la Nuit. But for now, it's this one. And the idea was to bring some light into the dark. So that is that. And these are the cards that go with Wild Reflections. And I thought, we'll just see down here how they look together. So there we have the Three of Cups and the Nine of Swords. That's quite a difference there. You've got celebration and you've got that torment, that worry, that anguish. So those two. Vampires on the left, Wild Reflections on the right. That was kind of neat the way that one popped up. So that is, for now, my favorite deck pairing. So I'm going to pause and move this out of the way. Now, I did think this next prompt was really quite good. It's your deck modification, be it a bag or a tarot accessory. Well, I hunted through my stuff and I found a cloth that I had made for my mother. And this is a big cloth. So I'm just going to have to pause here, span out the field of vision so we get a good look. Okay, so as I say, I made this for my mother. She wanted to learn how to use tarot cards. She came from a family of teacup card readers, not card readers, teacup leaf reading. So I made her this. It's a beautiful blue silky cloth. And no, the type over here is not phenomenal, but it gave her an idea if she was to get one of the trump cards, a couple words over here for her to see what the meanings could be. And it also goes down into the 4 suits, and at the bottom more about the court cards and things like that. And I wanted it to have that tactile sort of thing for her. And she did have an office in the senior center, so she could spread this cloth out. It's probably 3 feet wide. And I just had such a blast putting in all the ribbon. And I like this for the Celtic cross that is basically what it is. But it's a biggie, and I'm sorry that I can't show it all to you in one big fell swoop. But even just picking it up and listening to the fabric move is wonderful. So hang tight and I'll move this away. Okay, we are on to the next prompt now. This one here is your favorite deck backs. Prompt number 7, or else I'm going to get lost. I'll tick that off. Now this one comes in a really battered up tuck box. And there it is, the Angel Tarot. And it has a little book with it. And it's put out by US Games. It's an older deck with Stuart Kaplan. But to me, good cardstock too. Love these backs. They're kind of gothic. I love the red and the dark. I love the gold. It's just beautiful. And that is a Marseille type deck. So, and then it does have the pips, but these are gorgeous pips. Come on, what's not to love about these pips? And they, they got some humor with the horses and the peeps. Oh, it's just, like, look at that sword. To die for. So, favorite backs, and it might be one of my fave Marseilles because it is gorgeous. All right, and then the next one is your favorite deck that has a theme to it. A deck with a great theme. My cheat sheet away. I'm going for the Beetlejuice Tarot deck because the theme would be death, ghosts, and the afterlife. So it is a neat box. I hate the little booklet that goes with it. That's one of these things that's like, oh, it's just awful. So they need to improve on that. Love everything about the box. That's pretty cool. The inside with the little bats, wings, and skeletal heads. Really, really nice. Good book. And fun images. So the backs are this gorgeous goldy green. And I was really impressed with the cardstock on this. It seems to be a deck that is either loved or hated. So there is our Knight of Cups at the wedding. The King of Swords. When they were learning how to be ghosts as they tried to get the people out of their house. So, great little deck. I'm sure you've seen it, so I won't bore you with all of them there. Then the next one in my prompts, hang on. Ah, yes, a deck that I am in love with. Okay, now, don't know how many people have this one. You get 2 of these cards in there. I wish that the backs had the actual matching back of the deck. You know, I know they want to put their advertising in, but maybe on a separate card, because I like to use Mr. Waite and Pixie in my readings. So this is, if I show you the box, that would help, by Alejandro Rosen. And it's the Rider Marseille Tarot deck. So you get the idea of blending of the 2 systems. There's your backs. Nice. Cardstock, great. And my little cheat sheet falling out. It is the coloring that I like. It allows me to approach the Marseille system with a little bit of help from the Rider Waite. Like, to die for. It has that woodcut effect that I really like. So you get the similar images of what you're used to, but something a little bit different. So, you know, the pips are quite easy to follow, but then you get used to seeing them. And then maybe I'll be able to move on to my other pip decks with a little bit more confidence. Love it, love it, love it. Hang on a second. Okay, now the next prompt was a deck that you wish existed. Well, for me, it exists, but it's not on my shelf. I really wish that I had purchased this when it first came out, and that is the Tarot of Jane Austen. But I didn't, and you know, it wasn't that expensive, but I was wavering, and then years down the road, now that I am a Jane Austen fan and have all the books, I really want that deck. So it will happen one day, I'm sure. Now the next prompt is card that represents 2024 for me, how my year went. Well, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I love my dollar store tarot. I purchased about 10 of those off the shelf when I found it in a tiny little dollar store. But the card that represents me for 2024, I chose the 9 of Swords. And not because it was a depressing year. It was actually a very fun and challenging year. But I didn't get a lot of sleep. And when I have this card come up in a reading for people, I ask them, you know, the card indicates you're not sleeping well. Your mind is overactive. And that is exactly what it is for me. Starting a tarot channel is challenging, and I'm artistic and creative, and I wanted to also get back to my art, which I am in little bits. But for some reason, the channel occupies my mind day and night. It has become an obsession, I guess, and I will have to eventually maybe do a video every 4 days and then give myself a chance to rest in between, let my mind relax. And these are not negative thoughts for me. These are just thoughts that just keep streaming. And I do sometimes have the ability to connect with the other side while I'm dreaming. So I'm getting ideas from them as well, which is great. It's just, I've got to find a balance and get some sleep. So that is my card to represent me for 2024. Now the next one, reflect on a tarot practice that you do. Well, I will grab my book and show you. Okay, there's quite a few layers to the answer to this question, my practice. I did start a journal, And I did purchase some stickers online from Amazon. This was a thrifted book, and it is kind of personal, but I'll quickly show a few things in here. Now, I like to do the spreads with, as I say, the stickers, ask my question, and then sit down with a cup of tea and a candle and be able to put the spread together. Now, it doesn't necessarily go with every deck that I use, and I wish that decks that I did have came with stickers that coordinates with that deck, because some of the way that the horses are or the people are different in each deck, and there's a certain story that can be developed by the way the cards are looking at each other. So it does change. Get that in focus. There we go. It does change some of the visual, but it still allows me to record. So I like doing that. And then the other thing I love doing, I do it with my husband each morning, is I have a tarot app. And he gets to pick one card and I pick one card, and that's to represent our day. And probably 50% of the time, the cards are correct. But you know, it's fun. It's something we share over a cup of tea, and we really enjoy that. Along with this journal, I did purchase the bigger stickers. So when I'm zeroing in on a couple cards, I can take a whole page and plop down a couple stickers to represent the theme of the reading and do some more journals entries from that. But the other thing I have tried too, just lately, and I know it's not new, but I just sort of got back to it again. And this is the tin I keep my Dreaming Way tarot in, and it's secondhand. Somebody's already cut it down. I think they cut it down, or I did. And I really liked all the fabrics in here on the people. The cardstock is great. And so my practice lately is to lay, I guess I would shuffle the cards and make sometimes up to 5 piles. And then what I'll do is read this as what is sort of known, what is sitting in my mind currently. And then what I would do is to take what's hidden from me from the bottom. So I end up with 6 cards. And I can journal about this, or I can just look, because sometimes for me, the journaling interrupts the thought pattern. And it's nice sometimes to just get lost in the cards and not have to think about making that perfect sentence and finding the stickers to match and everything else. So I'm not great at recording every one of my readings that I do for myself, but at least I'm practicing and I'm getting the stimulation and I'm trying different spreads. And this is probably a deck that I'll be working with for a couple of months, just because there's something here that's drawing me back to it. Now, this is what I mean about the Two of Wands that you normally see in a Rider-Waite-Smith. This one, you know, she has the idea for me of a chef. She's cooking something up. She's got her world there in her hand. But it was interesting, I just spied this the other day, that it's almost like another world here, because there's buildings and they are upside down. They're like a reflection of this. So she's reflecting. And it has some of that lonely quality that I sort of look in card decks for. I don't know why. I sort of like that peacefulness and that person that you get to see that sort of ponders things. And this is a different view for the Ten of Wands. You get to see the face, you get to see the body bent over and the struggle of trying to hold all those wands. So this deck has an awful lot that's really screaming out to me lately. And normally I see the Nine of Wands standing there and in amongst all the wands that they've put as a barrier around them. Well, it looks like she's sort of sitting with it all. And how can I remove some of these structures that are blocking my way forward? Really great deck. The backs are sort of bizarre, but they are kind of, I don't know, happy. So people, that is what I have to bring today to the table with the end of the year tarot tag. And I hope that was fun for you. And I look forward to seeing you back again. And any comments that you have, I love corresponding back and forth and getting people's ideas and tips. So I hope the rest of the end of 2024 is good for you. And let's hope for a fantastic 2025.